Hi, I'm Aaron, and I'm a product manager for Visual Studio's IntelliCode suite of features. Today, let's take a look at our new inline completions. So here we are in the eShop on Web solution. It's a real app and code base, and we're working in the set password method of my manage controller. And now I'm going to start typing. Let's start by checking our model state. And if you've programmed before, you've seen the IntelliSense list grow from simple string suggestions to AI-powered completions with the stars next to them. But now, look at this gray text. We've extended the IntelliCode that you've loved for years to complete up to a whole line of code now. Let's explore. I'm going to hit Tab, Tab. Our user experience is an extension of what you're already doing. You're used to pressing Tab. Let's hit Return. And in this pattern, we're going to return the view. So we as programmers have context, and we've taught IntelliCode to understand context with a smart model that learns from the code that you're writing, but runs entirely locally. This is going to work on a plane if you'd like. Again, I'm going to hit Tab, Tab to accept the inline completion. So to elaborate a little bit here, IntelliCode inline completions will consider things like your variable names and positions, the sort of code that you're writing, so the libraries you're using, functions in nearby code, and your selection in the IntelliSense list to provide you that inline completion. So here's kind of a nice story here. I'm going to do something with the password result. And so watch IntelliCode pick up on this variable name to suggest the rest of the line that I'm going to write here. Again, based on add password result, it's guessed from that variable name that I'm going to use my user manager's add password async method here, which is correct. Again, tab. And so here you can see that from the completions list, we can actually steer the suggestion that we're going to get. So I'm going to scroll up and down here. I'm going to hit again, we can watch the inline completion change. So I want model.new password. I hit tab, tab to accept. And let's complete the rest of this function here. Again, we see on this new line that Visual Studio IntelliCode's inline completions has guessed from kind of the code that I'm writing before the rest of this line here. Tab, we're going to use the add errors method. And again, we can see the gray text here. That's correct. Tab, tab. And we're going to end this by returning the view. Tab, tab. Cool, so this marks the end of our set password method. We've watched IntelliCode's new inline completions consider variable names and positions, patterns in my code, functions in nearby code, and my IntelliSense list selection to produce great inline suggestions and gray text to help me write my code faster. I'm going to demonstrate a quick scenario in another file here. So get order details. So here we have an empty class. And so I'm just going to start typing my properties. And again, we see that inline completions can pick up on the code that we're writing to produce these great text completions. I've got one more property here. Tab to accept. Cool. So that brings us to the end of our demonstration of Visual Studio's newly enhanced inline completions in Visual Studio 2022. Thank you for joining me, and we're looking forward to you enjoying this feature. Thank you.